Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I wanted to go into part 2, looking at Antarctica bases. So that being said, first image I've got up isn't actually a base, it's the South Pole. It's the South Pole where people go to proclaim they travelled to the South Pole. As you can see, as famous as it is, you can't really see anything. You can see right nearby that there's a change of colour. So they've done patchwork, so they've actually showed the area next to the South Pole, but not the South Pole itself, which is strange. But if you remember, like I said in the last video, normally when they do this and there's a patch of good work, good image, there's something in there to be found. But I don't know what it is. I haven't actually found anything in here yet. Didn't really spend any time looking. But as you can see, this South Pole that they're talking about is not as far down as it could be. You know, you could go a lot further down. What's that? So, South Pole. Now we're going to the next one, which is South Pole again. So this is the second South Pole in Antarctica if it loads. This is where the South Pole telescope is, apparently. Obviously you can't see anything once again, and this one is right at the bottom there, so it's quite literally the most south anything could be, and you can't zoom into that point. It's just, the point is literally right below there every time. If I slowly scroll out, one thing you will notice as well is every time I look at a new page, it keeps offering me to claim this business. I'm thinking that I should own all of Antarctica by now, really. At least 150 locations. Shall I go for it? Yeah, so, yeah, zooming out, it is literally at the bottom of Antarctica on this particular map, underneath the South American area. And yeah, the other South Pole was about, sorry, it was about halfway, it was about there. So, I mean, this makes complete sense on a flat Earth, having your South Pole telescope down here, you know, so at least you can, hang on. So, that being where that, the bottom of that W is there, is where, so that is on Google. So having a southern telescope pointing south, you know, you could at least watch the stars from Palmerland. You can see if there's any comets coming in from this point. Don't know how helpful that is for the rest of the circle, but yeah, maybe they've got more pointed out everywhere else, but we just don't know about. Maybe that one existed in old times and they've just gone and reclaimed it. I don't know. If that is the case, then that might be an area of interest for things coming in. Anyway, so this is Troll Satellite Station in Antarctica. I thought satellites are meant to be in space. Tiny little thing, but it's got a place nearby that weren't visible or available for me to notice until I zoomed in, and then it just appeared, Jutel Sesen, but I can't find nothing there. And excuse me, Troll Station ain't all that big, but it's got some stuff. They've got vehicles and locations to stay. And Troll Station, obviously that's the top of the mountain. Don't know why there's no shadow there. It's just hidden behind here. Yeah, so there's something at the bottom there, which I don't know what that is. You got the trail station at the top. Can't really see it that well, but it's there. And then you can see cables running down, kind of, in some places. So, I can't remember. I didn't actually run through before I started this video to see if I can look at other points on here. So, but no, doesn't look like I can look at any points there. So, next one. Antarctica. Oh yeah, this one. Can you see that, or is that me just tripping balls on the beer flue that's floating around in the atmosphere, or the apparent beer flue? Is this a hand? See that? It's thumb, finger, 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 and then the wrist there. But you know, that's 1 kilometre there, so that's that thumb, just that point, visible point of the thumb, is more than 1 kilometre long. Excuse me. No, it's not beer flu. I've got smoker's cough. Yeah, but doesn't that not look like a giant hand? It's unbelievably massive, but there weren't any points on here. But to me, it just looked like it was something I should bring up. So I did. That location, and there might be other stuff nearby as well that, if upon closer examination, may appear to be giant body parts, or may not. I don't know. But that definitely looks like a hand to me, and that is near some white patch, which is not far right from there, which is near the dodgy bit sticking out, which is apparently a glacier, which we might see on one of the other videos that I'll get to at some point. So yes, giant hand in Antarctica, probably about 5 kilometres long. Could fit about the same size as the body I found in the last video, the giant helmet and body I found near Bahrain, if it is a giant body. Yeah, this particular one is one of the only ones that I just can't pronounce. I don't even know how I would read that, but fortunately I was able to find it. And you can see here that there's got quite a lot of stuff here scattered across the top here. Looks like they've been set up for a while. Last night I dozed off on the sofa, and I kind of woke up and I was watching something on YouTube, and what I was watching had finished, and what was playing was Admiral Byrd's explorations in the few decades back into South Pole. And I don't know, I've seen it a couple of times, but I just saw bits that I hadn't seen before. I don't know if there's another remake out, or if I just fell asleep last time as well. But basically it was going on the story about where one of Byrd's engines shut down, and he was flying with one engine, and they had to throw loads of stuff out of the airplane to lose weight so they didn't fall down and crash. One of the places I showed, it was either on my last video or the one before that, that wasn't an Antarctica video, one of the two. On my last videos I showed a place in Antarctica that looked like there was just loads of stuff, an outside warehouse, there was just loads of stuff everywhere. Well, it really looked like on that video with Admiral Byrd that that's all the stuff that they put there decades ago. I know there's accommodation around it, so people probably have been back and been using the supplies they dropped there and topping them up and stuff, and using it as an actual location for a warehouse. But it just looked really similar to the set out that they did on the video once Byrd got back to the rest of them, and had to take even more stuff out so they didn't have any more issues getting out of Antarctica, and they basically made the external warehouse in. But it was really interesting to see a point that I just brought up on a video, on a movie or a video that was made a few decades ago. So this is Mawson's hut. Not very much to see, not anything to see really. It's a historical landmark. How is it historical? How many people have seen that? If I've found 70 stations there, and say you have maybe 10 different people there at each station a year, and they've been there 50 years. That's 500 times 70, so that's 5,000 times 7. And that's unbelievable. And they say that their so-called beer flu hasn't contaminated this place yet. You've always got people going in and out for research purposes. Maybe scientists don't get infected, I don't know. But I've noticed since I brought up my video talking about that kind of stuff that all the points that I've mentioned have now become major issues on the news, at least in Trump's conversations anyway. So, yeah, maybe someone's watching my videos. No, I doubt it. I don't get many views. So, yes, there's another point. Mawson's Hut, which is right on the edge. Excuse me. I believe that's supposed to be water. It just doesn't look like it. They've just done really bad couple of drawings. See, when you zoom out, it looks like water. When you zoom in, it looks like ice. How bizarre. So, yeah. Next one. We've got Mount Sydney. Sorry, not Sydney, Sidley. So the reason I brought this up is because it looks like a huge volcano. And the hole in top is 5 kilometres wide. Is that not as big as any mountain? Is that not about the size of Everest's? I don't know how big Everest is, but that 5 kilometres is really wide, and that's just the hole in the middle. That's not the whole mountain, you know. From there to there would probably be 15 kilometres maybe. Looks like there was a failed attempt of one there as well. But when you, like I say, when you zoom in, you get all these kind of different patches. You can tell that they've repurposed and reprinted, repictured different points to try, I don't know, expose or cover up something they showed on their older version that was or wasn't visible. So, but yeah, that mountain, yeah, this video is quite a few mountains and lakes and islands that I wanted to show, and the whole point of showing things that really you don't have much to see is to show how well explored Antarctica is, because it is, by the looks of it, just as much explored as any other place. It's the only difference is it's got no infrastructure there, you know, so you have to just do all your travelling on the ice and you're living on the ice. So this one was called Mount Conan. I couldn't find any information about it, but I could find it. I could find that it existed, but when you zoom in, as you can see, there's nothing to see. Unless it's referring to this point here, which is possible. What gets me is this has all been broken up. But where is the residue? Is that the residue? Because that looks like... I don't know. Look at that. See, there's so much patchwork going on here. Oh yeah, Mount Conan. So that is the internal of Mount Conan. And that is, well, if that's 2 kilometres, that's what, 6-7 kilometres wide? Oh no, that is, sorry, I thought that went down, but actually that is the whole top. Point of this one is, this is a mountain with the top cut off, I suppose. And if it's flat, and if it's meant to be a mountain, you know, they wouldn't really be flat. So, and then I thought, well, if it's flat, you know, what's that there? And there's got to be a reason for whatever that is. Some giant in the past has cut this flat, like they've done with mountains across Earth, and then put little people on top. But they've done, it's been done here, from what I can see anyway. That Mount Conan is basically one of the furthest points to get to on the flat Earth, so it's somewhere between Australia and South America. So on this map that will be somewhere about there. As you can see, probably as far away from land as you can get in Antarctica. I did notice that before as well, green and blue stripe. I don't really, it's probably just poor efforts but on the cameraman's side. So yep, Mount Canaan. So I should try and get through the ones you can't see anything on a bit faster. Ross Ice Shelf, kind of like when you get the flat plains across Earth. Where's the curve? Talking about the curve, this has been a real big phrase that I've noticed getting used by multiple countries, is flattening the curve for this beer flu stuff. It's almost like the invisible enemy is the flat earthers, and they're going to flatten the curve. No, but the way they're using the phrase flatten the curve, it's almost like they're preparing to tell the world that the earth is flat. But I don't think that'll ever happen, considering the mass deception on space and globalism and taking people to Mars soon, which will probably just be some base on Greenland, something like that, or an underground base where it will look like it's in a spaceship and the windows will just be TV screens and everyone will think they're in Mars and believe whatever they're told. The Ross Ice Shelf, massive flat land. Down here there seems to be quite a lot of stuff, but as you can see, when you get to this point, it purposely is really bad to see. I think there's the Queen Elizabeth places that I mentioned with the Z, because before I showed you Queen Elizabeth place with an S. There's one or two Elizabeth places in here as well, and I think I might have it in here. If not, I'll have to find it again, but I managed to break through some of this really poor really poor stuff and actually see an image of something that was probably not meant to be seen. So that's Ross's Ice Shelf. Copernicus Station as well. Flatten the curve. So got Jangbogo Station. Looks pretty cool on the picture. Got cranes and stuff. Mini cranes. Got their ball up high. Excuse me. So, Jangbogo. Come on, computer. Yeah, as you can see it's just like that. But that's a pretty cool setup. And they've got Hyundai ready there for any overseers to see. And a helipad. And, they've put infrastructure in. Looks like they've built a road. High level road with a shadow next to it. Unless it's a wall from ancient times, maybe. They're using it as a road now. But they've got a fuel station there as well. So all the other countries and their places, if they want to come down and travel by, they can buy fuel from these, just like how it was said last night that they've somehow made thousands of ventilators in this time since this crisis began, a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago maybe. And built these specified instruments in such a quick time without designing really, or designing super fast, building really fast. And it seems like apparently America have overbuilt it, but they don't care because now they can sell to the rest of the world. Yeah, it's like business. When has any rich person ever thought along them lines? And one of the things he said in his speech last night as well is the people that are running this, they're not making anything. Yeah, they might be making something. What they're making is just a tiny little bit. And it's like, well, you just totally changed your attitude in one sentence. Yeah, this is all about power grab, really. And it will calm down in the next couple of months, just like it says in Dean Koontz's book. But yeah, as I'm also hearing, this is actually a plan to re-roll out again in 10 years, like it says in Dean Koontz's book. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to set this up now, keep the social distancing going, and then it's likely in about 10 years when it's all gone and blown over and people are actually, you know, normal again, touching each other, talking to each other, treating each other like humans, then it'll come about again and everything will be enforced, more so than it is this time. So quite a little fascinating one there, Jangbogo. Don't know who owns that. Oh yeah. So next one. So this is Zucchelli Station with its own border, and it seems to go around pretty much most of the mountain in the area anyway. And they seem to have a lot of setup here. You know, if that is if that's 20 meters wide, that's like 30 meters long, that one's 40-50 meters long. That's quite a big warehouse. They're both quite big warehouses. And they've got roads there as well, which I can't use. But if they've got a road that goes to nowhere up the top, maybe they've got an observatory up there, or, you know, more equipment and stuff. But it must be something. This rock must be of a material, of a mineral that's important. I mean, why else would you just claim a bit of rock? Why wouldn't you just say, right, I want this rectangle here, and then just try and claim everything you can outside of it as well? By the looks of it, they've already done that. They've put aeroplanes right there, which means they've got a runway right there. Yep. And then it looks like a huge crack. So yeah, they've got their own little runway, their own little road. What kind of size planes are they? So that's just a mini plane. Another road. And also they've got a road that comes out this side and goes up here. I can't really zoom out too far because I'll lose it. And it just stops there. So it's going to absolutely nothing. And it seems like there might be something underneath there, but you just can't see it. But, I mean, why would you? Why would you? Is that another runway right there as well? That's the same one. So that's Zucchelli Station, just under Jangbogo, and they're both situated underneath New Zealand, in that big open area. What's that? Look at that, it goes from sea to Franklin Island. Anyway, so, excuse me. So here we have Vanda Station. Strange one, because it's the only one I've found that does this so far. But when you find it, it gives you a question mark in the middle of a lake. But it tells you it's still Vanda Station. Makes no sense. Also down here, it tells you that Lake Vanda is in New Zealand. But when you search Vanda Station, it takes you here. So I don't know if it's a hidden station or not. But, yeah, not much to see. Unless, of course, it's an underwater one, and you wouldn't see it anyway. Where's that near? That's quite literally in the middle of, you know, dry land, not ice. Near McMurdo Station. Near the Ross Archipelago, whatever. So, better crack on. I've only got about 6 or 7 minutes, and still got quite a few. Roosevelt Island. So, come on, computer. That's also an island there. It's not giving me the name right now because it's not loading very well. But what gets me is how they can name so many, because there's a lot of islands inside the ice. I know that it's not hard to do surveys where you can see where the land is underneath the ice, but why proclaim something as an island when, how long is it going to take for all this ice to be gone? So why call it an island? Why not just just say it's part of the land for now? If that makes any sense. So, as I've said before, if ever you want to research any of these places I'm showing, just find the name that I put on the video, type it in, have a look for yourself. This is Bay of Whales. This was mentioned as the route that Admiral Byrd went in the video I watched last night. You can't really see anything there, but having the name Bay of Whales, I can only imagine that there's a lot of whales there. Come on, computer. Yeah, this is starting to become a bit of an issue. This laptop's a bit lame. It seems to struggle nowadays. Oh, hey, we're moving. No, can't. Oh, there we go. Can't see nothing anyway. I'm just getting bored of waiting for that to load. I've got loads of stuff to show. So, because I haven't got much time, and most of these there isn't anything to see when you zoom in anyway. I'll just show you briefly. But you've got Byrd Glacier there, which is a massive glacier that's at the finished point over 20 kilometres wide. That's quite massive. But there's nothing to see when you zoom in there. I can't remember if there is a Copernicus station, so I'll just have a quick zoom. No, you can't really see anything there. But that is all. University Peak, Royal Society Range. That's another thing while I'm here quickly. Royal Society, what I found when I'm looking on Gallica and I find old stuff, it's not often that I find that much Masonic stuff really. I do find Jesuit stuff. But what seems to be the common society that run things in the 1700s, around that time, was the Royal Society of London. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they are the modern Masons. And that, I don't know, I'm not too sure. I don't understand why our power structure would disappear unless it followed routes of others in the past, and that means just changing its name, imaging itself, kind of like how companies do, to appear as something new. So you got all these islands, mountains, Mount Discovery, Royal Society, all that near Ross Archipelago, which is Ross Ice Shelf is right there. So Skelton Inlet looks a bit like Ross's ice shelf. Once again, nothing to see. But for all these names, you know, people have been there. It's not like someone called Steventon went there and named all these different names. You know, Steventon named this island, Moody named this island, and so on and so on. It's just so much. So this is Grinder Island. Can't really see much of an island, but it does look an odd shape. So next, yeah, Morris Island, Farmer Island, Polish Island, Hannah Island is this one. There's no particular reason I picked one over the other. It's just near the others, so I thought I'd just get that and then show you how many islands are around. Something being hidden there. But all these places are already named, well known. So this is Byrd Glacier. Nothing to see here, as you can tell by the picture, but it seems to be dripping out anyway. But you can find that one if you look for it. So Lake Whillans, Lake Whillans. As you can see by the picture, it looks like a tropical lake. As you can see by the map, it just looks like white with nothing to see. Excuse me. And Admiral Byrd did mention that there was, you know, beautiful landscape beyond the South Pole. Maybe that's where he was talking about. Mercer Lake, which is near all this defragmented land that I was telling you about before, just a minute ago, about when Queen Elizabeth location is. And brought this up because it's another lake right in the centre of Antarctica, right in the coldest place of the Earth, so-called, of the so-called globe. But this is, you know, nothing to see here. And it's down almost as low as the second South Pole I showed at the beginning of the video. I ain't got long left. Let's see if I can get through these in time. Mount Johnston. Come on. Right, so Mount Johnston. See, the sun is south of these mountains again, so I don't know if these pictures have been rotated to appear that way. So that, you know, this mountain actually is probably over here facing a different direction rather than the one we can see right now. I don't know, I'm just suggesting. The WAIS divide. Very interesting. Got their own runway right there as well. Alexander Island, Rothschild Island. I don't think I'm going to make it to the end of these tabs. I've got less than a minute. Here was another interesting one. George, 6 Sound. I've found about 5 places that end with the name Sound, one of them being in Antarctica water as well. I don't know what that is. I don't know if they're doing sound tests on the firmament above. I'm not too sure. But they keep calling places Sound for some reason. Nothing to see. So the ones I didn't make it through to today, I'll just leave them on and show them on the next one, with the next lot that I'll go and find. That was interesting. Wilkins Sound, Arctic Sound in the middle of the water there. Henderson Pyramid, kind of a strange-ish pyramid where it twists a bit on the end of itself, but it's actually known as Henderson's Pyramid, so might be worth looking at some, guys, if you've got time. But my video is going to run out anyway, so I'll put these next 5 on the next video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll speak with you all soon. Take care and God bless.